Welcome to Fright Night. For real. Again. Hey everyone, it's Boogeyman Ben. Hope everyone's doing well and everyone had a great day. Today's video is actually, it's funny, this is actually a video I wanted to do about 4 years ago. Not close to 4 years ago, but it was the summer of 2011, and I did a video on the original Fright Night, just talking about all the elements of that film that I loved, going back to, you know, the music, the acting, the comic book series that came out in the late 80s. And I always intended to do a video about the second Fright Night film starring William Ragsdale as Charlie Brewster and Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent. And I never did it. And I even said in the first Fright Night video that I did that my next video would be on the sequel. So, if you haven't guessed from the name of this video is going to be on the technically 1989 film Fright Night 2. Now, this film was supposed to come out in 1988, and I remember when I had just graduated from junior high, I was going into high school, and the announcement of the Fright Night comic book series was made. And it said the comic book series was put up by Now Comics, which is a comic book company that's long gone. But it said the movie, the sequel, and the ongoing monthly series, because it was supposed to come out and tie into the film's release. But what happened was the film didn't come out in theaters, and there's a little bit of trivia on that I'll get into, but it didn't get released like it was supposed to get released. And eventually it made its way into home video, and I didn't see this film until a year later, a year after it was supposed to come out. Now, the comic book adaptation of the film came out, like, I'm going to say 7 months before I saw the actual film. So I read the comic book before I actually saw the movie. So today I'm going to talk about the sequel, what I think about it, talk about the cast and crew, story elements, and also give a little bit of trivia on just some of the controversy surrounding this film and why it didn't get the wide release it should have. And I hope everyone looks forward to this. Please stay tuned. So the film picks up 3 years after the original film. Charlie Brewster is now in college, and he's also in therapy. And his psychiatrist has led him to believe that Jerry Danger is nothing but a serial killer posing as a vampire. As a result, he comes to believe that vampires never existed. Charlie has a new girlfriend named Alex, and he's also still close with Peter Vincent, who is still hosting Fright Night. Everything changes for Charlie when the seductive Regine walks into his life. Regine is out for revenge, and she has set her sights on Charlie Brewster. The movie stars William Ragsdale as Charlie Brewster, Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent, Tracy Lind as Alex, Julie Carmen as Regine, John Grise as Louis, Russell Clark as Belle, and Brian Thompson as Bosworth. The movie was written by Tim Metcalf, Miguel Teixeira Flores, and Tommy Lee Wallace. And the movie was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. Unlike the first film, the sequel saw a very limited release in the U.S. by distributor New Century Vista and producer the Vista Organization. TriStar Pictures, the sister studio of Columbia Pictures, the studio that released the original film, released the film overseas. The film was only released on 148 screens and brought in only $548,231 on its opening weekend. Its domestic gross was $2,983,784. Soon after this film, Roddy McDowall and Fright Night creator Tom Holland were scheduled to meet with Live Entertainment chairman Jose Menendez, but plans died with Menendez, who was famously murdered by his sons. Stephen Jeffries was offered a role to reprise his Evil Ed character from Fright Night, but turned it down to appear in the film 976 Evil. Julie Carmen initially wasn't interested in taking the role because Regine's character was nothing more than an Elvira imitation, she told Fangoria in a 1988 interview. After the script went through revisions, she became so enamored with the role that she turned down other projects to ensure she had ample time to prepare for the part. And like I mentioned at the top of the video, there was a Fright Night comic book series put out by Now Comics. They did a total of, I believe, 20 issues, 21 issues, and then the publication was canceled, which really pissed me off as a kid because I loved the book, and I still have all of my Fright Night comics. And this right here was the adaptation of Fright Night 2. This came out several months before the film came out, or several months before I saw it. It's a really cool issue. I love the art in it. And like I said, I showcased this in a video I did close to 4 years ago. The artist Lennon Delso did a fantastic representation of Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent on this cover. Now, Fright Night 2 is not nearly as good as the original Fright Night, and I think a lot of that just had to do with Tom Holland's writing and direction. Not that I don't love Tommy Lee Wallace. I mean, he's done some films that I'm really a big fan of. I mean, he was involved in the original Halloween. He also directed Halloween 3, which I've grown to love over the years. He also did Stephen King's It. So yeah, I'm a fan of his work. One of the main things about Fright Night 2 that, you know, I think is missing is Stephen Jeffries as Evil Ed. I mean, obviously, if you've seen the film, you know what happens to Evil Ed, and it would have been really cool for him to have been in the sequel, and that's what I thought was going to happen. But that was noted in Fangoria magazine and some other interviews I've read with Stephen Jeffries, is that he wasn't happy with the script, that pretty much they just had Evil Ed in the film just to have him in there. There wasn't really anything big that he was doing, and he was pretty much just laughing, and he didn't feel like that was worth his time, so he went and did 976 Evil. I think what makes this film work is, of course, William Ragsdale as Charlie Brewster, and Roddy McDowall as the late, great Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent. I mean, their chemistry is what makes this film work, and I'm a big fan of Fright Night 2. I think it's fun. I like a lot of the characters. I love the character of Louis. He's by John Grise. He's another character, and I think he's kind of got that Evil Ed kind of character where he's kind of the comic relief in the film. But he does it well, and he makes the character his own. He's not like a ripoff of Evil Ed. And I also really love Julie Carmen as Regine. And like I said, I didn't want to give too many spoilers away about who Regine is because I don't know if everybody's seen this film, so I didn't want to give too many spoilers about it. But I mean, you can look online and find out who she is in the film, and I think she does a tremendous job of filling Chris Sarandon's shoes in terms of being the main antagonist in it. I also think for the limited budget that they had on this film is really gory. Just as gory as the first one, though. I mean, it's all done in camp, and I think that's one thing that this film retains really well. I don't think the script is as sharp as Tom Holland's, but I still think that it retains that camp, that mix of camp and horror that really was prominent in the original Fright Night film, and it makes this one a really good companion to the original Fright Night. And like I said, you know, there's some great set pieces in it. I think the battle scene at the end is pretty awesome, and I think it's a testament to Roddy McDowall and William Ragsdale, who had created these characters, these awesome characters in the original Fright Night film, and they carry over really seamlessly into this film. I mean, and it's unfortunate, but yeah, Fright Night 2 is a fantastic. I definitely recommend people checking it out if they haven't seen it. It's a really tough DVD to find. I bought this back in, I believe, the early 2000s. I'm going to say 2002. And I got it relatively cheap, but it's a really piss poor transfer. It's in full screen. It's really kind of grainy. I'm hoping that either Scream Factory or Twilight Time will do a special edition of this one. But this one is really hard to find. It's pretty pricey online. I've seen it upwards close to $100. It might be more than that, but you know, I've never needed to really buy another copy of it. But I have friends, particularly my friend Frank, who's been looking for a copy of this film for a long time, and like I said, it's a really hard film to find, unfortunately. But yeah, just wanted to do this video real quick. I know it's it's one I wanted to do a long time ago, and I can't believe it's taken me so long to do a video on Fright Night 2. But with the Twilight Time movie coming out, And another idea that I have for a Fright Night video that I'm probably going to be doing this weekend, before the horror con that I'm going to. So Walker Stalker Con is this weekend, and I will be going to that on Sunday, and I'll be meeting the great Robert Englund, which will be fantastic, and I will do a video about my experience with that. But I do plan on doing another Fright Night related video, because I'm just on a Fright Night kick right now, and it's going to be a really cool video, and I hope everyone looks forward to that. And please, if you guys have seen Fright Night Part 2, share your thoughts with me in the comments below. I'd love to hear what people think about this sequel. And that's going to be it for this evening, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their evening. Take it easy. Thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. Thanks. Peace.